What is up, everyone? This is John with Archer Film. All right, so this next one, I'm not happy about this one. This is Axel F, Beverly Hills Cop 4, essentially. It is awful. I watched it last night. About 20, 30 minutes in, I just got bored with it and just started doing other things. I did end up watching the whole thing, and it is awful. It is like The Force Awakens. It is a complete ripoff and mirror of the original, which is superior. Obviously, the original one, they took, Eddie Murphy, and he was able to sort of really shine and show his real comic and even action potential. And that is what is disappointing, is like it was something new and unique, and now they're just sort of brushing it off, shining it up, and trying to pass it off as something entertaining, and it's not. It's content. You can tell the first half of the movie, which is shot on some digital camera by a the director is not a director. He's like an advertising executive or, a commercial director or something. Like, he's not a real artist, and you can tell he's just pointing the camera. It looks like content. There's no artistry to the shots, and it's a complete ripoff of the first 2 or 3 films. It's just bad. It's horrible. The relationships are unrealistic. There's this focus on the father-daughter thing. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is completely wasted and just doesn't really have the comedic chops anyway, I think, to be up next to Murphy. I mean, Murphy shines. He always shines. He has that spark. He has that thing about him where he's almost always funny. It's just they don't give him enough to do. Like all the gags from the first movie where he's putting on accents and clowning people, like, it feels forced, and he's just doing the same thing over and over. And they throw in everyone from the first movie, in different roles, and it feels they're way too old to be doing this stuff. There's nothing new or fresh about this movie. There's nothing new or fresh about, like, this 40 years later, and there's nothing new or fresh about L.A. or Beverly Hills. Now, I kind of know the screenwriter. I met him a few times. I got another story about him. His name's Will Beal. He wrote this novel called L.A. Rex years ago, which got him attention. He's an ex-L.A. cop, and then he started working on, like, other sort of cop movies. Gangster Squad is one. He wrote Aquaman, which was a pile of shit. That was just not worth watching. He wrote Venom, and I remember talking to him about that, which, I'll put in another video later on. And, he was a cool guy. He was a really nice guy. I liked talking to him and chopping it up with him, talking shop, things like that. But there was also some issues I had, with this guy, and I'll tell you about that later. But as a screenwriter, I just feel like he's a gun for hire that comes in and, there's just absolutely nothing inspired about this. Now, again, maybe it's not his fault. Maybe it's what Netflix wanted. Maybe it's what the studio wanted. Maybe it's what Eddie Murphy wanted. Who knows? But to me, there's just nothing fresh about the plot. There's nothing. It's literally feels like Force Awakens, where they just recycle every story, every character bit, and put it in a new package that looks the same, and then they put it out on Netflix as content because they know they're going to get eyeballs on it, and that's all they care about. But it is awful. It reminds me of Bad Boys, which the same screenwriter wrote, Will Beal. He wrote the newest Bad Boys. But anyway, yeah, it's awful. The character work is awful. The relationships are awful. They just throw all these people into it, and it just feels bad. The only thing is my boy James Russo from the original, who I got to work with, who was awesome. Obviously, he's not in it because his character died in the first one. But yeah, it is just a very bad attempt at recycling nostalgia, for the generation that grew up watching Eddie Murphy. And the same way I feel like the Bad Boys thing. And, look, it worked for me. I loved watching Martin Lawrence. I think he's hysterical. Same with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is a goat of comedy for sure. And he's always funny and amusing to watch. And I like this little resurgence with Eddie Murphy stuff. It's just, I feel bad. It's like the same action set pieces over. The ritzy house, some big giant truck of some kind smashing into nice cars, creating havoc. The only difference is the helicopter scene in this. So it's like the same stuff over and over and over. There's nothing really at stake. You never feel like anyone's really in danger. It's just, it's just a bad movie. It literally feels like content. It's like an insult to my eyeballs. It's shot poorly in the sense of like there's no artistry to it. It's just pointing a camera. It's just a really bad movie. Like, watch something else. There's other great things out there, or just watch the original. But this is just bad. This is a bad sort of recycling of an old thing and hoping that like enough people, have fond memories of it that they'll give it a shot. But I would pass. I would miss it, if I was you. There's plenty of other things out there to watch. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.